first part of my journey was something amazing and beautiful. I received a lot of gifts and blessings. I went from St. Paul to Murnum, from Murnum to Manville, and from Manville to Irma. On each stretch, I learned a lesson. From St. Paul to Murnum, it was pretty flat, and I was making very good progress. A native gentleman, pulled up in a truck and offered me a ride. Probably saw my stick with my eagle feather, but I declined. I asked him how far till Murnum. He said all around 10 kilometers. Being cocky, I was like, I got this. It's been smooth so far, I got this. Well, I was unaware of the series of hills that were about to come up and spring in front of me. So as soon as these hills started, I said, oh my lord, I should have took the ride. But I started the hills. I had a golf trolley that I was pulling my stuff behind. My stuff was in a canoe pack on a golf trolley, and I had a stick attached to the golf trolley for extra extension so I could pull it behind me without too much effort. So one of the wheels on my golf trolley started coming apart, started breaking apart, and totally broke by the time I got near Murnum. Luckily, I got another ride because I was just sitting on the side of the road for a long time wondering what I was going to do, because I didn't want to leave my golf trolley. I thought it could be fixed. So a man brought me into town. That's where I met Anita. Very lovely soul, very beautiful person. She's helped me a lot. But my golf trolley was done. So I went to the campground. I camped out, and the next day I started walking around. This is a tiny little village, and I told a few people my story. I was wondering if they could maybe fix my wheel, and I told them the story of why I had to get a wheel fixed in the first place. So then I went back to the campground, decided just to wait. See, there's the campground, and then there's the school. So this happened, kids are having track and field or whatever, outdoor gym. So I just watched the kids play. I wrote down in a very personal journal what I needed, which was a trolley. And I said, Lord, if I don't get a trolley, I'll continue on this path. I will. But I'll have to leave a bunch of stuff behind. So I can't handle the weight that I had at that moment. So about 10 minutes later, a gentleman in a truck rolls up. He says, oh, you're the young man walking across Canada. I say, yep. Walking down Alberta. He says, well, the golf course wanted to donate this to you. And he pulls out a new golf trolley. It's better than the one I have. Oh no, you guys might not be able to see it down from here, but I'm on a roof. But it's I don't know. It's in the backyard behind the bar somewhere. So that was one of the gifts. Oh yeah. I also ran out of water between those hills, between Murnum. And I thought to myself at that point, what the hell am I doing? I don't have water. I'm just walking without a plan. This is fucking crazy. But then I came across a natural spring. That's right near the Saskatchewan River on the bridge. And that was the most best tasting water I've ever had. I stayed there for an hour, splashing it in my face. It was just so amazing. So from Murnum to Manville, it was pretty uneventful. I only learned a few lessons that dealt with lions and birds. Some that I'm not even really sure I have yet, so we'll skip that. From Manville to Irma, I ran out of water, and there's a farmhouse right there, and I just decided to walk up and ask them for water. And it was a nice little older lady, and she fed me. She gave me food, water, and they let me camp on their nice cut grass, so I didn't have to set my tent on some stupid ass location like I have for the past week. Guys, I gotta tell you, from that step, from St. Paul to Irma, I was taken care of the whole way. I had no plan. I had no people ahead of time that were gonna meet me and give me supplies or anything, and I left with barely any supplies. But the people I've met, not even knowing me, helped me, gave me things, helped me continue. And that is what I set out to do, is prove that humanity is still good, even though there's so much evil. But the most intense experiences were yet to come. I made it to Irma. I thought it was Sunday, but it turned out to be a Monday, so I was walking around a church because I knew I had to get to a church. I knew I had to ask somebody what was going on with me. Why am I saying these things? Why am I feeling these things? Am I crazy or am I not? So the pastor's wife was there, Stacy, and I talked to her, and she said, "Oh, the Pastor Wayne, he is out right now, but you know what? There is a campground, and we will pay." She personally paid for me to stay in that campground for a few days, and then some after. But Wayne came up to the campground, and he gave me food, he gave me a Bible, which is the first time I've actually read the Bible, by the way, and it's just, like, I've read the Bible, but that was the first time I've actually read it. I actually processed the words, I understand it, and I was there in the time, in the moment. A really weird experience, but enough of that. So I spent another few weeks at the actual campground before Wayne invited me to set up my tent behind the church, or my Alliance church. So I did, and there I also met Joanne, another wonderful lady. I've met so many wonderful people in this town. So, it's funny, Joanne, she says that she knew 3 stages, she knows 3 stages of me since I came to this town. She knew the guy that first came here, who was curious and kind of mysterious, and then she knows the crazy version of me, which I'm about to tell you what happened, and then she knows the me that's now. So how I went crazy, wow, I don't know, it was just too much information at once, I guess. It was just too much. Numbers, everything, number fever I call it, and I know that a lot of people get it, so I don't feel too bad about that. Number fever. But anyways, I was in my tent, and this is after the forgiveness video. This is after the first few dreams that I had, which were really intense dreams. I was up for 3 days. This is the 3rd day that I was up. I didn't sleep at all. I didn't eat. Barely drank. So it was a 3-day fast of everything. And I wasn't purposely fasting. I was just getting so much things, and I was just seeing so much things that I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. So I was in the church. The Pastor Wayne trusted me enough to give me a key to the church so I could go in and study the library and do whatever when he was not around. So bless him for that too. For trusting some stranger with the key to the church. Like, really? Anyways, I was studying and I was reading, and all of a sudden my heartbeat, it just changed. It went irregular. It was like a drum. Like, it's usually right now it's do 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 do. It was just a solid do 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 do. And with each one of those beats, my body started changing inside. I felt it almost melting, coming down, and then coming back up like a vacuum. I was being sucked up. So I was being sucked up, and I looked, and there was God, an amoeba, the universe, everything inside of it. All the different planets with all the different children on those planets and with us, all connected inside this giant amoeba. Stars, everything, Earth. And in that one moment, I just thought, this is God. And I felt that I could go more into, I could get sucked up more, but I got scared. Brought myself down. So the whole day I was reeling from that. And then at nighttime, around midnight, I was in my tent, and I was reading. My little flashlight. I was reading a book about the apocalypse, the prophecy apocalypse, about how the end times churches will start getting taxed and whatnot, and it's just, no. And it's just all these things that are supposed to happen. But, I saw my first demon that night, and I wasn't scared because it wasn't out to hurt me. How can I say this? I could see through my tent. I could see through the wall. Like, I can't normally, but this night I could. I could see what was outside. And outside was just this red figure, this grotesque face, but sad eyes. Very sad eyes. And then it walked to the side, and I looked to the left, and there, looking at me, was the face of Jesus. Not the body, nothing, just a face. And how can I say it's Jesus? Well, that's the face I perceived from the pictures and the books. It didn't even look like Jesus from the books. I just knew that it was Jesus. Very dark skin, very brushy beard, very light eyes. But stars. The presence of just the face itself was just overwhelming. People, you have to understand, you can't. The great truth of God is that God has given you different perceptions to connect with God, the Almighty. Every teacher He sends may be different for someone else. Personally, I believe Jesus was the greatest teacher, and that we are all sons and daughters of God. Jesus, the face, that in that church, that moment when I saw it, I could finally sleep after. And I knew what I had to do because the face of Jesus looked at the demon and then gone. So I have to heal. But underneath the demon, it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't very demon-like, even though the physical appearance was. The aura was just sadness, regret. And in my heart, I just felt empty pain. And I knew it was me. That was my demon. That was me being healed. So I could finally sleep. And I did sleep. I did. But I didn't stop the craziness. Because that Friday the 13th, I still ended up in the woods, having to walk back in the morning with no sandals on and just a white robe thingy. Keys to a truck that I apparently stole from inside a truck, which I have to return, but I have no idea where I got it from. I know the general direction. I don't even know if it's for a truck. Now you know the danger of me making these videos, of telling you these things. I'm already in a position where I can get thrown into a psych ward. And now I'm telling you that God is an amoeba, and I've seen the face of Jesus, and that the only truth is love, and that different teachers are everywhere. You think this is easy? It's not easy. It's not. And that's why I offer it to you. I don't know, man. All I know is that after witnessing that, feeling it, and seeing it, that there's no way I could ever go back to the way I felt before. There is a God. That's it. That's it for today. Goodbye.